Hello from Mindset Daily, wishing you a day full of health, peace, and happiness. Thank you for watching the Mindset Daily channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe to support us. Thank you so much. What if one decision could change everything about your future? What if the only thing keeping you stuck is waiting? And what if today, right now, could be the beginning of your transformation? If you're someone who wants a successful life, there's one decision that matters more than any other. It's the decision to stop waiting for one day and instead declare today as day one. That single shift from hoping to acting can define the difference between the life you imagined and the one you continue to feel trapped in. Every goal you've ever set, every breakthrough you've dreamed of, every transformation you've longed for, it all begins with one uncomfortable but powerful step. And the truth? Most people avoid that step. They wait. They hesitate. They convince themselves the right time is somewhere in the distance. But waiting, while it may feel safe, is deceptive. It keeps you stuck in place. Starting, on the other hand, feels intimidating. But it's the only thing that builds momentum. The future you want isn't something that magically arrives one day. It's something you create. And it starts always with what you choose to do today. These words aren't just meant to uplift or motivate you. They're meant to push you into motion. Because in the next few moments, you'll uncover the mindset shifts that separate those who only talk about their dreams from those who build them. You'll learn how to overcome hesitation, rewire the way you think about progress, and finally quiet the mental noise that has kept you from moving forward. The truth is, most people will keep saying one day, but the few who decide today is day one. Those are the ones who rise, build, and transform their lives from the inside out. It starts with a choice. Every morning, whether you realize it or not, you face one of life's most defining questions. Will you treat today as one day, or will you claim it as your day one? After years studying the world's most successful thinkers and leaders, one truth has remained constant. Greatness isn't about luck. It's the result of clear, deliberate choices made over and over again. Take Thomas Edison, for example. One of history's most celebrated inventors. He endured thousands of failures in pursuit of a single breakthrough, the electric bulb. But Edison understood the mindset of day one. He didn't treat each morning as a maybe. He chose every single day to persevere. He showed up for his purpose, even when it was difficult, even when the results weren't immediate. Now, imagine if Edison had hesitated. If he had said, one day I'll get to it. Where would we be? In darkness, both literally and symbolically. Edison knew the truth. Waiting for the perfect moment is like standing at an empty train station, hoping for a train that was never scheduled to arrive. The perfect time doesn't exist. The only real time you have is now. Each sunrise offers you a blank canvas, an invitation to create, to act, to build. Life doesn't promise the ideal beginning. It offers something more valuable, opportunity. And these opportunities, they demand your attention. They require your decision. Waiting weakens your confidence. It quiets your ambition. It dulls your fire. The greatest risk isn't in failing. It's in never deciding. It's the risk of letting dreams die in the waiting room of life. I've met countless people frozen by indecision, waiting for ideal conditions that never arrived. They watch months pass, then years, and all the while, their potential remained untouched. Not because they weren't capable, but because they refused to begin. So the question is no longer, what are you waiting for? It's, why are you still waiting at all? In the next section, we'll look deeper into how hesitation robs you and how mastering the power of intentional mindset can break that cycle for good. In the previous section, we explored the critical choice between one day and day one and how your future is built not on intentions, but on action. Now, let's go deeper into what it truly means to act with urgency and purpose. The reality is, conditions almost never align perfectly. Waiting for ideal circumstances is a trap. What separates those who rise from those who stay stuck isn't the environment. It's inner resolve. It's the decision to act despite uncertainty. Every moment spent waiting isn't just time passing. It's time lost forever. Time you can never retrieve. Successful people understand something most ignore: the urgency of now. They don't hope the right time will come. They create it. They know that every second matters, and that meaningful progress begins the moment you stop postponing and start doing. Choosing day one means embracing your goals with clarity, commitment, and conviction. It means showing up for your dream today, not when it feels easy, not when it's convenient. Because every action you take today becomes a brick laid in the foundation of your future. And each of those bricks matters. Your future isn't formed in distant plans. It's shaped through small, consistent decisions. Through acts of courage taken when the outcome is still unknown. Through the simple habit of taking action right now, even when it's uncomfortable. Especially when it's uncomfortable. That habit of immediate action becomes transformational. With practice, it turns ambition into achievement, ideas into results, the abstract into the tangible. This is what sets high achievers apart. Decisiveness is not just a trait, it's a discipline. Henry Ford once said, "You cannot build a reputation on what you are going to do." That statement cuts deep. The world doesn't reward good intentions. It rewards execution. It honors those who move, those who commit, those who act boldly, even before they feel fully ready. Momentum begins with one step, and greatness is built by continuing forward, relentlessly, intentionally, with purpose. Each morning, rise with clarity. Know exactly what must be done today. Break your big goals into focused, actionable steps. Refuse to delay. Don't give procrastination even a second of your time, because delay is theft. It quietly robs you of progress, potential, and pride. Be decisive. Be bold. Let your actions today pull your future closer. The extraordinary life you envision, it doesn't appear by chance. It arrives one decision at a time, delivered by your willingness to move forward without hesitation. So let this day be different. Let today mark the moment you stopped waiting. Let it be the moment you leaned into your purpose with everything you have. Be courageous. Be relentless. Choose action over comfort, movement over doubt. Success belongs to those who begin. And in the next section, we'll uncover how discipline, not motivation, is what keeps that momentum alive, even on the hard days. In the last section, we explored how decisive action, taken now, not later, is what ignites momentum. But action without direction is just movement. That's why the next key to transformation is knowing exactly where you're going. Step 2, define your purpose clearly. Purpose is the compass that guides every meaningful journey. It acts as your internal North Star, lighting the way through life's unpredictable terrain. In my years of studying the world's most accomplished individuals, one insight has consistently stood out. Clarity of purpose is what separates true achievers from those who only dream. Without a clearly defined goal, your energy becomes scattered. You move, but without intention. Like a leaf tossed in the wind, you drift, subject to chance, without direction or control. Look at the life of Walt Disney, a powerful example of purpose in motion. He didn't come from wealth. He didn't wait for luck. From modest beginnings, he envisioned a world where imagination could inspire generations. But he didn't merely hope for success. He defined what it looked like. He gave his dream form, structure, and mission. That clarity became his fuel. When obstacles rose, he didn't turn back. He adapted. He transformed resistance into opportunity. His vision became the driving force that turned ideas into reality. And today, the legacy of Walt Disney stands as living proof of what purpose-driven action can accomplish. So now the question becomes, what is your purpose? Take a moment and reflect deeply. Ask yourself, where do I see myself in the next 3 years? What legacy do I want to create and leave behind? What specific steps must I take to turn that vision into reality? Your answers to those questions won't just clarify your path. They'll define the trajectory of your entire life. Because without clear goals, you're like a ship set adrift. No compass, no course, just floating at the mercy of external forces. Purpose is your anchor. It grounds your decisions. It sharpens your focus. It ensures that every action taken brings you closer to your vision, not just forward, but forward in the right direction. Every successful person I've ever studied shared this one trait, an unwavering clarity of purpose. Andrew Carnegie, Henry Ford, Thomas Edison. These men didn't guess at their goals, they defined them with precision. That clarity became the foundation of their resilience. It gave them courage in adversity, strength in setbacks, and the energy to persist when others quit. Because purpose is more than a goal. It's fuel, it's fire, and it's the difference between giving up and going on. In the next section, we'll explore how discipline, not motivation, is the true force that turns that purpose into results day after day, even when the excitement fades. In the previous section, we discussed how clearly defining your purpose gives your life direction and meaning. Now, let's talk about what happens when you bring that purpose to life through consistent, focused, and intentional action. Your purpose is your greatest asset. It's the foundation of every great achievement. But purpose alone isn't enough. It must be defined clearly, visualized vividly, and pursued with passion. When you allow your purpose to guide each decision, shape each priority, and fuel each action, you begin to live intentionally. And intentionally is how transformation happens. Every day that passes without clarity is a day at risk, a day lost, because without clear objectives, your energy scatters, your efforts drift, and your dreams inch further away. Time doesn't slow down while you figure things out. The clock keeps ticking, and the opportunity cost of indecision is far greater than most people realize. The world has always favored those who know exactly what they want and who go after it with laser-like focus. Success doesn't belong to the wishful. It belongs to the committed. Your ability to define specific targets and pursue them relentlessly, no matter how difficult the path, determines the quality of your results. So what does that look like in practice? It means waking up today not vaguely hopeful, but sharply intentional. It means visualizing your goal in crystal clear detail, seeing it in your mind as if it already exists, and then taking immediate steps toward that vision, no matter how small. Break your goals down into concrete, actionable steps. Plan them with care. Map them with precision. Because vague ambitions yield vague results. But clarity? Clarity delivers. It sharpens your efforts, strengthens your resolve, and speeds your progress. Every part of your life, your decisions, your habits, your outcomes, is a reflection of how clearly you've defined your purpose. If your vision is cloudy, your results will be too. So embrace this truth. Clarity drives momentum. The more precise your direction, the more powerful your progress. Let that truth influence every move you make. Let it become the lens through which you filter your choices. Because clarity isn't just helpful, it's transformational. Define your purpose boldly. Commit to it with everything you have, and you'll be amazed at how life begins to move with you, not against you. The universe rewards the bold, the focused, and the clear. And when setbacks inevitably appear, and they always do, there's one final trait that separates those who quit from those who rise. In the next section, we'll explore the power of resilience and how developing it turns every failure into fuel for your future. In the last section, we discussed the power of purpose, how clarity and action aligned with vision create lasting momentum. But even with a clear direction, life will test you. And that's where your true strength must emerge. Now we turn to one of the most vital traits of all, resilience. Abraham Lincoln's life stands as a powerful testimony to this truth. He experienced loss early in life, losing his mother as a child. He faced repeated business failures. He suffered the heartbreak of losing the woman he loved. And politically, he endured a long series of crushing defeats, setbacks that would have broken the spirit of most men. But Lincoln wasn't most men. He was resilient. He understood something that few people fully grasp. Failure is not a finish line. It's part of the process. It's not a verdict of defeat. It's an invitation to grow. Each setback he faced didn't weaken him. It shaped him. Every loss became fuel. Every disappointment pushed him inward to reflect, to refine, and to rise stronger than before. That's the real power of resilience. It transforms failure into transformation. Your journey will also be filled with obstacles. Not if, but when. Life will challenge you. It will stretch your patience, shake your confidence, and question your resolve. But these trials are not meant to break you. They're placed before you to build you. Inside every difficulty, there's a hidden message, a test, a question. How badly do you want this? Resilience is how you answer. It's the quiet, inner strength that keeps you standing when everything around you falls apart. It's the resolve to try again when the world tells you it's over. And here's the truth. Resilience isn't formed in moments of ease. It's born in the middle of difficulty. It grows in silence, in those nights when quitting feels like relief, but pushing forward feels like purpose. The people who achieve great things are not those who never fall. They're the ones who rise again and again, with more clarity, more humility, and more strength each time. The most successful individuals I've ever known didn't walk a smooth path. They faced one setback after another. But instead of retreating, they rose, fueled by a deeper understanding. They knew a principle that has stood the test of time. Every adversity, every failure, every heartbreak carries within it the seed of an equal or greater benefit. This isn't poetic optimism. It's a law of nature. But that seed only grows when it's watered with faith and fed by persistence. You must begin to see failure differently. Not as a wall, but as a mirror. Not as an end, but as instruction. Ask yourself, what is this experience teaching me? How can I grow from this moment? What new direction is being revealed through this pain? The answers to those questions? They're the raw materials with which you build the foundation of long-term success. Brick by brick, lesson by lesson, setback by setback, you rise. And in the next section, we'll look at how consistent action, even in the face of uncertainty, becomes the tool that turns resilience into results and motion into mastery. In the previous section, we uncovered the power of resilience, the strength to rise after falling, and to keep going when everything around you says stop. Now, let's take that truth even deeper into how resilience becomes your mindset, not just something you practice occasionally, but something you embody daily. Let resilience become your constant companion, not just a reaction to hard times, but a way of thinking. Let it rewire how you interpret setbacks, so that every defeat becomes a doorway to insight, and every obstacle becomes a stepping stone toward deeper wisdom. When you fall, and you will, don't curse the ground beneath you. Don't question your path. Instead, look for the lesson. There is always one. Rise, dust yourself off, and move forward, not bitter but better, stronger, clearer, more prepared than you were before. Remember, the strongest oak in the forest isn't the one sheltered from wind and rain. It's the one that stood tall during the storm. It's the one whose roots grew deeper with each blow it took. Likewise, your power isn't proven when everything is easy. It's revealed when you face resistance and grow anyway. Within you already exists the strength to endure, to overcome, and to rise. The challenges you face are not punishment. They are preparation. They are signs that your dream is real enough, valuable enough, and meaningful enough to require your growth. And growth never comes without struggle. Discomfort is the toll we pay on the road to transformation. Welcome it. Lean into it. Understand that adversity is not in the way. It is the way. So start today with a new belief that your resilience will turn what's possible into what's certain. Let every hardship strengthen your conviction. Let every setback refine your purpose. Let every challenge remind you that you are being shaped, not shattered. Because in the end, what defines the successful is not the absence of failure, but the refusal to be defeated by it. That's what sets them apart. That's what will set you apart. Be that person. Be resilient. And carry this truth with you. Your dreams are not just possible. They are inevitable. If you have the strength to keep going, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard, and what powers that kind of resilience at its core? In the next section, we'll uncover the single most transformative force behind every great achievement: self-belief. The quiet power that bridges the gap between what you imagine and what you build. In the previous section, we explored how resilience transforms failure into fuel, and how those who persist through difficulty become unstoppable. But even resilience needs a foundation, and that foundation is built on something internal, something immovable: self-belief. Take, for example, the story of Orville and Wilbur Wright. These two brothers were not born into status, money, or connections. They were bicycle mechanics, ordinary men with what the world saw as an extraordinary, if not foolish, dream: the dream of flight. At a time when no human had ever left the ground unaided, they dared to challenge the laws of possibility. They looked to the sky and said, "We shall rise." And they meant it. Despite being mocked, doubted, and dismissed, they held firm. They didn't just rise into the air. They rose above every voice that told them they never would. Why? Because their self-belief was so strong, so deeply rooted, that even gravity itself could no longer hold them back. Let this be your reminder. No ridicule, no rejection, no failure can truly defeat a person who believes. Self-belief is the true starting point of all power, all progress, and all achievement. Before a single dollar is earned, before a single foundation is laid, belief must take root in the mind. It must grow. It must anchor itself so deeply that doubt cannot shake it. And that belief, it must come before the evidence, because the evidence only arrives after the belief. The Wright brothers didn't wait for someone else to prove flight was possible. They became the proof. And so must you. You must move forward, not when you have confirmation, but when you have conviction. Because belief is magnetic. It draws ideas. It attracts people. It aligns circumstances. It becomes the unseen force behind everything you build. Understand this deeply. Your mind is a workshop. What you feed it daily, thoughts, words, intentions, becomes blueprints for your reality. Thoughts evolve into things. Desires, when combined with belief, become your future. But doubt is the silent killer of dreams. It doesn't yell. It whispers. It wears the mask of logic. It pretends to be humility. And it says, be realistic. And just like that, a vision dies before it ever has a chance to fly. That's why you must build your inner fortress of belief. Fortify it. Defend it. Speak to yourself not with hesitation, but with certainty. Expect success. See in your mind. Feel it in your bones. And act, not with hope, but with the confidence of someone who knows it's only a matter of time. Confidence is contagious. The world doesn't follow the uncertain man. It follows the one who radiates certainty. The one who steps forward before the crowd gives approval. The one who leads with belief when no one else sees the vision yet. And when your belief becomes unshakable, you'll find opportunities, people, and circumstances beginning to align, as if by magic. But it's not magic. It's the natural law of belief in motion. It's your inner world shaping your outer one. And it all starts with the thoughts you choose to nurture. So ask yourself, what are you planting in your mind today? In the next section, we'll explore how the environment around you, your circle, your influences, your surroundings, can either support that belief or sabotage it completely. And how choosing your influences wisely becomes a non-negotiable on the path to greatness. In the last section, we uncovered the transformative power of self-belief, the unshakable foundation upon which all success is built. But belief, to truly manifest its power, must be ignited by something even deeper, something that fuels action day after day. That something is passion. No man can rise above the limitations he places on himself, and no man can be held down when he believes, fully and completely, that he was born to rise. The foundation of your dreams isn't money. It's not influence. It's not even talent. It's the unwavering belief that you are worthy of achieving them and capable of bringing them to life. So I challenge you, cultivate that belief. Feed it daily. Let it grow until it becomes stronger than your fears. Let it drown out the voices that whisper doubt, that remind you of past failures. Because when belief becomes embedded deep within you, when it's no longer negotiable or conditional, something powerful happens. Reality begins to shift. You begin to see the world bend to your resolve. That's where your real power begins. That's where momentum takes root. In belief, there's potential. But in unshakable belief, there is transformation. And now we arrive at the next truth, the driving force behind sustained greatness. Step 5, pursue passion unapologetically. Of all the forces that propel people toward greatness, there is none more potent, more consuming, more relentless than passion. Passion is not a hobby. It's not a mild preference. It's the inner fire that refuses to be extinguished, no matter how fierce the wind of adversity. Passion is life's richest fuel. It ignites ambition. It keeps you moving long after motivation fades. It draws out effort from places you didn't know existed. Passion compels you to reach beyond the limits of comfort, beyond the standards of mediocrity, and into a realm where few dare to go. Throughout my life, I've had the privilege of studying individuals who rose above all odds, people who built greatness from nothing. And the common denominator among them was never luck. It wasn't even intelligence. It was passion, so strong, so undeniable that it bordered on obsession. Thomas Edison, for example, once said, "I never did a day's work in my life." It was all fun. Why? Because he was consumed by his passion. He didn't chase electricity because someone told him to. He pursued it because it thrilled his soul. It kept him awake when others slept. It made him persist when others gave up. That is what passion does. It creates pull, not push. It pulls you toward mastery. It pulls you through pain. Passion is what separates those who dabble from those who dominate. It's the difference between a life of average effort and a life of extraordinary achievement. So ask yourself, what moves you? What fills your lungs with fire and your heart with urgency? What could you pursue for a decade without ever tiring of the challenge? Because when you discover that and commit to it without apology, you tap into something limitless. And in the next section, we'll explore how discipline turns that passion into consistent progress, ensuring that fire doesn't just burn brightly, but burns long enough to build the future you deserve. In the last section, we explored how passion is the ultimate fuel, how it lights the path when logic dims, and how it separates the extraordinary from the ordinary. But passion, to truly become powerful, must be more than a feeling. It must become a force that drives you forward relentlessly. So I ask you now, what is your passion? What is the idea, the mission, the craft that stirs your blood, that keeps you awake at night, that you would still pursue even if no one applauded and no money followed? Find that, because within that pursuit lies your greatest purpose. Don't confuse passion with interest. An interest can be set aside. A passion refuses to be silenced. It calls to you in the quiet hours. It lingers in your daydreams. It taps you on the shoulder when you're trying to do something else, urging you to take one more step, try one more time, push 1 inch further, no matter the cost. A man may lack resources, lack support, even lack experience, but if he possesses passion, he is never truly poor. Because passion gives birth to energy. And energy, when directed by purpose, becomes a force that moves mountains. Look no further than the story of Madam C.J. Walker. Born in the late 1800s to former slaves, she grew up in poverty. She worked as a washerwoman, earning little more than $1 a day. But she carried within her a passion, not just for beauty, but for dignity, for uplifting women, for changing the way they saw themselves. That passion became her obsession, not the destructive kind, but the kind that builds empires. She channeled that fire into action, and in doing so, became the first self-made female millionaire in American history. Her story wasn't paved with privilege. It was carved from purpose, persistence, and deep, unwavering passion. So ask yourself, what are you willing to build, even if no one claps? What dream refuses to leave you alone? That's not a coincidence. That's your soul trying to speak. Your passion must take hold of your mind, not to torment, but to inspire. It should occupy your thoughts, drive your focus, and push you toward execution. Because the truth is simple. The world doesn't reward the lukewarm. It rewards the fully committed. Half-hearted effort leads only to burnout and regret. But when you give yourself entirely to a calling that moves you, everything changes. You don't wait for permission. You don't wait for the perfect timing. You become the opportunity. Let others chase trends. Let others cling to comfort. But you chase the flame. Because a man led by passion doesn't need to be pushed. He is pulled by purpose, by conviction, by something greater than obligation. And that's where true power begins. So remember this. The man who thrives is the one who listens to the whisper of his soul and answers it with bold, consistent, and unapologetic action. In the next section, we'll explore how that kind of purpose-driven passion must be anchored by something equally important: discipline, the structure that turns fire into forward motion. In the previous section, we uncovered a powerful truth. Passion isn't a coincidence. It's a calling. It's your inner compass pointing you toward your highest potential. But even the strongest passion must be guided. Fire without direction can burn out or burn everything down. That's where the discipline of goal setting comes in. Your passion is not random. It's divine. It's deeply personal. It's the whisper of purpose planted within you, guiding, nudging, reminding you of what you're here to do. Ignoring it is not just hesitation, it's betrayal. Betrayal of the best within you. But when you honor it, when you move toward it with open hands and a ready heart, you awaken the greatness that lies dormant inside. So don't wait. Don't hesitate. Fan the flame. Fuel the fire. Feed the spark. And do it boldly, fully, and without apology. Because passion is what separates those who merely exist from those who truly live. But now, we turn to what transforms passion into progress. Step 6, the necessity of goal setting. Dreams alone are not enough. The world is overflowing with dreamers, but it is led by those who take their dreams and give them structure. Because while a dream may inspire, it is a goal that grounds. A dream lifts your spirit, but a goal gives your energy direction. Think of it this way. A dream is the seed, but without roots, a seed drifts. A goal is that root system It anchors the vision, it feeds it, it keeps it alive through the storms. A goal transforms possibility into plan and wishful thinking into measurable action. You must understand, a goal without a plan is not a goal at all. It's just a wish. And wishes are fragile. They vanish with the morning dew. But goals? Goals are powerful. They are the tools of the determined, the weapons of the focused, the blueprint for achievement. Consider the story of Roger Bannister. Before 1954, the world believed it was physically impossible for a human being to run a mile in under 4 minutes. Scientists claimed the human body would collapse under such pressure. Doctors warned it was unsafe. The consensus was clear: it couldn't be done. But Roger Bannister refused to accept that ceiling. He saw the goal. He believed in it. But more importantly, he planned for it. Every workout, every detail of his stride, every breath and turn of pace, it was all calculated, measured, and intentional. His training wasn't guesswork. It was a path, carved step by step, toward a very specific target. And on that historic day, Bannister crossed the finish line in 3 minutes and 59.4 seconds. He didn't just break a record. He shattered a collective mental barrier. He redefined what was possible. So ask yourself, what's your version of the 4-minute mile? What's the goal the world says is too far, too high, too much? Because when you set a goal and back it with a plan, when you pursue it with both passion and precision, you no longer chase a dream. You build it. And in the next section, we'll go deeper into the structure behind that pursuit. How planning and daily execution bridge the gap between big dreams and real-world results. In the previous section, we looked at Roger Bannister's story, not just as an athletic milestone, but as a blueprint for how clear goals, backed by strategy and belief, can redefine what's possible. Now, we turn inward toward your own journey, because the question isn't just what he achieved, but what you are capable of when your goals are sharpened with clarity. Bannister's breakthrough was more than just a sporting triumph. It was a lesson to every man and woman who dares to dream. It showed us that specific, measurable, and actionable goals can shift what we think is real. They can bend the rules of what's possible and align circumstances in our favor. So let me ask you directly, what is your 4-minute mile? What's the goal the world says is impossible for you? What vision lives inside your mind, but still lacks the structure to come to life? Because a goal, no matter how ambitious, is powerless if it's vague. Vague goals lead to vague outcomes. If you say, I want to be successful, that's not enough. What does success mean to you? Does it mean earning a specific income? Building a certain kind of business? Mastering a particular skill? The more precisely you define your aim, the more power you give to your momentum. When an archer knows exactly where the bullseye is, every breath, every motion, every adjustment becomes intentional. The same is true for your goals. Break your vision down into smaller, achievable steps. This is where clarity becomes strategy. Ask yourself, what must I accomplish this week? Today? In the next hour? Every small task you complete becomes another brick laid on the path to your dream. And don't overlook the power of a deadline. A goal without a timeline is like a ship without a compass. It drifts directionless. Deadlines create urgency. They inject energy. They separate those who simply wish from those who do. Track your progress. Relentlessly. Be honest. Measure what's working, adjust what isn't, and refine your approach along the way. The path to success is rarely straight, but it always rewards the one who keeps going. Every step forward, no matter how small, is progress. And every ounce of progress is proof that you're getting closer. Without clear goals, dreams stay where they started, in your imagination. They may feel good to think about, but they hold no power to change your life. But when a dream is connected to purpose, translated into a goal, and backed by focused action, it becomes reality. It becomes inevitable. The man who writes down his vision, who creates a plan, who wakes up every day with intention and discipline, that man becomes a force. Not dangerous to people, but to excuses, to mediocrity, to self-doubt. That man becomes unstoppable. In the next section, we'll dive deeper into how daily habits and consistency, not just big ideas, are what truly separate the successful from the spectators. In the last section, we explored how setting clear, measurable goals transforms dreams into reality, and how those who live with direction become unstoppable. Now, let's bring that urgency into the present, because vision without action is just fantasy. So start today, not tomorrow, not next month. Today, this very moment is your turning point. Define your goals with precision. Draw the vision in vivid detail. Set a non-negotiable deadline. Map the steps you need to take, and then act. Move forward with the urgency of someone who knows that time is not infinite, because it isn't. The clock is ticking whether you act or not. And at the end of it all, your life will be one of two things: a masterpiece crafted by intentional effort, or a fragmented collage of wishes left unfulfilled. That decision is entirely yours. Goals are not just motivational buzzwords. They're the machinery that turns desire into progress. They transform abstract dreams into measurable, tangible results. And the moment you act with full intention, you begin to claim the life that's been waiting for you all along. Now we arrive at the next critical pillar of greatness. Step 7, mastering your mindset. You become what you think about most. That simple truth, often overlooked, is the unseen force behind every triumph, every failure, every breakthrough, and every breakdown. It's not your education, your family background, or your current conditions that determine your outcome. It's your mental attitude, your mindset. That's the real battlefield. Your mind is a workshop. Every thought you entertain is a tool. And with those tools, you are either building the future you desire or constructing a prison of doubt, fear, and limitation. As I've said before, thoughts are things. They're the seeds from which your reality grows. What you consistently plan in your mind, you eventually harvest in your life. Henry Ford, the industrial titan, understood this. He once said, "Whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right." That wasn't just a clever quote. It was the foundation of his legacy. Ford's genius didn't start in a factory. It started in his thinking. He envisioned an industry that didn't exist. He saw a future others couldn't imagine. People called him reckless, unqualified, even dangerous. But he refused to feed his mind with limitations. He didn't just reject doubt. He replaced it with conviction. And with that mental strength, he built the most powerful automotive empire of his era. Now ask yourself, if one man's mindset could reshape the course of modern industry, what could your mind do if only you believed in it fully? Because your mindset determines your direction. Let me say that again. Your mindset determines your trajectory. It's not the market, not the competition, not fate, not luck, and certainly not the opinions of others that decide where you go. It's the dominant thoughts you allow to live rent-free in your mind every single day. So make a decision today, a final, uncompromising decision, to guard your mind like a fortress. Don't allow negativity to creep in unnoticed. Don't entertain limiting beliefs disguised as logic. Instead, discipline your thinking. Feed your mind with positivity. Nurture optimism. Cultivate relentless self-confidence, not as vague ideas, but as daily practices. Because your mind is like a garden, and your thoughts, they're the seeds. In the next section, we'll explore how to tend that garden with intention, how to uproot the weeds of doubt and plant the beliefs that will yield a harvest of success. In the previous section, we talked about guarding your mind like a fortress, choosing the thoughts you allow in, and building your mindset with purpose. But once you make that commitment, the real work begins, the daily discipline of mental gardening. Because here's the truth, If you don't plant flowers, weeds will grow by default. If you don't intentionally cultivate empowering beliefs, negativity will find its way in. And once it's there, it doesn't sit quietly. It spreads. It wraps itself around your confidence. It chokes your momentum. It convinces you to quit before you've even begun. Negative thinking isn't just a bad habit. It's the breeding ground of failure. It paralyzes decision-making. It magnifies small problems until they look insurmountable. It turns momentary delays into lifelong detours. It minimizes your ability and blinds you to the opportunities in front of you. But positive thinking, genuine, disciplined positive thinking, changes everything. It doesn't ignore problems. It faces them with power. It doesn't wish things away. It searches for solutions, even in the darkness. Positive thinking opens doors that fear keeps shut. It attracts new ideas. It draws people toward you. It fuels persistence when things get hard. It's what turns ordinary individuals into leaders, builders, innovators, giants. But let's be clear, this is not blind optimism. It's not pretending life is perfect. It's the practice of choosing your focus, of directing your attention toward growth instead of defeat. It's the habit of asking better questions, of turning every setback into a setup for a comeback. It's the belief, not that life will be easy, but that you are stronger than the difficulty ahead. You must become the master of your inner world. Your thoughts are the foundation. Don't hand control of them to your environment. Don't let the voices of others dictate the value you assign to yourself. Don't outsource your mindset. You, and only you, are the guardian of your beliefs. The thoughts you consistently dwell on will become the beliefs you carry, the emotions you feel, and eventually the actions you take. Here's the undeniable truth. Every great achievement in history started in the mind of one individual who refused to settle. Someone who saw beyond the immediate, who believed they were meant for more, and acted on that belief. That individual could be you. Start now. Begin with awareness. Tune into your inner dialogue. What are you telling yourself when no one's watching? When you catch yourself thinking small, reframe. When you hear fear say, "I can't," ask instead, "How can I?" Replace hesitation with faith. Replace insecurity with focus. Replace doubt with strategy. Write affirmations that reflect the future version of yourself. Not just who you are, but who you intend to become. Speak them aloud. Meditate on them. Let them settle deep within your subconscious. And then live them. Because when you train your thoughts, you train your destiny. And in the next section, we'll explore how to protect that inner transformation by mastering your environment, the people you surround yourself with, and the standards you allow into your life. In the previous section, we explored the power of mastering your thoughts and how your mindset becomes the soil in which your reality grows. Now let's look at what happens when that inner transformation begins to reshape everything around you. Because when your mind changes, your world changes. Watch closely and you'll start to see it. As your thoughts elevate, so do your habits. As your beliefs strengthen, so does your posture toward life. As your self-image improves, so does the way others respond to you. Your outer world begins to mirror your inner world. Your thoughts, your beliefs, your attitude, these are your greatest resources. Not your bank account, not your resume, not even your network. All of those can rise and fall. All of them can be lost. But your mental attitude, that is yours and yours alone. It cannot be stolen. It cannot be broken unless you surrender it by choice. So I urge you, use that power wisely. Build your days on a foundation of courage and conviction. Train your mind to seek progress, not perfection. Look for the good. Learn from every moment. Pursue your goals with grit, no matter how steep the climb. Let your mindset become an ally to your ambition, not a saboteur. Because once your thoughts align with your vision, nothing can hold you back. The circumstances around you will begin to bend to the clarity within you. Your destiny is not dictated by the conditions you were born into. It's shaped by the decisions you choose to make. And the most powerful decision of all, the one that changes everything, is to master your thinking and direct it with fierce intention. So from this moment forward, let your mental attitude be grounded in purpose, powered by belief, and shielded by discipline. Because the world, as history has shown us time and time again, bends to the will of a focused mind. And where does a focused mind go next? To growth. Because greatness is not a place you arrive at. It's a journey you commit to. And that journey demands one thing above all else: continuous learning. In the next section, we'll uncover how lifelong learning is the bridge between where you are and where you're meant to be, and how the world's most successful people used it to rise above limits, build empires, and leave legacies that time cannot erase. In the last section, we spoke about the mind, how a disciplined, focused mindset becomes the foundation of transformation. But a strong mind must be constantly fed. And that brings us to the next vital principle of lasting success: embracing continuous learning. Andrew Carnegie understood this better than most. He studied people. He studied systems. He immersed himself in finance, communication, and strategy. Every book he read, every conversation he had, every life experience, he treated as a lesson. He didn't just accumulate knowledge. He converted it into action. And that action created wealth, power, and lasting impact. From steel mills to global philanthropy, his rise was built not just on business instincts, but on an insatiable hunger to grow. Carnegie understood a timeless truth: knowledge is not power, it is potential power. It only becomes transformational when it is applied, when it is lived. And that, my friend, is your personal invitation. You must become a lifelong student, today, tomorrow, and always. Do not let comfort fool you. Do not let past winds lull you into stillness. Because the man who stops learning doesn't stay where he is. He starts to decline. Complacency is silent. It whispers that you've done enough, that you know enough. But it is the quietest and most dangerous enemy of greatness. The world is evolving every single day. Industries are being disrupted. Technologies are rewriting the rules. New ideas are replacing outdated systems. If you don't grow with them, you won't just get left behind. You'll become irrelevant in a world that moves forward without permission. So I urge you, commit to daily improvement, not just when life forces your hand, not just when you're uncomfortable, but as a way of life. Each day, seek to grow, whether in skill, wisdom, or understanding. Read a chapter from a powerful book. Watch an interview with a mentor. Reflect deeply on your experiences. Test new approaches. Question your assumptions. Challenge what you've always believed. Because education, real education, is the currency of achievement. It can't be stolen. It never depreciates. And unlike any other asset, it multiplies the more you use it. Invest in your own learning relentlessly, not just in classrooms or certifications, but in your curiosity, your habits, your time. Every hour spent learning is a seed, and every seed has the potential to grow into opportunity you can't yet imagine. Never forget, your personal growth is not a side project. It's the engine behind your progress. The sharper your mind, the clearer your vision. The broader your knowledge, the more confident your decisions. The deeper your wisdom, the greater your impact. Because in the end, the most valuable asset you will ever own is not your income, not your position, not your possessions. It is your mind. And in the next section, we'll explore how surrounding yourself with the right people, those who challenge, elevate, and inspire you, is just as crucial as feeding your own intellect. In the last section, we explored the value of continuous learning. That education isn't just preparation for success, it is success in motion. But what good is knowledge if we don't know how to adjust when life shifts? That brings us to the next critical trait of greatness: adaptability. Your ability to grow is your greatest personal asset. Guard it. Feed it. Most importantly, use it. Begin the journey of intentional learning. Not because someone told you to, but because you recognize that growth is your responsibility. Every page you turn, every skill you refine, every lesson you absorb pulls you closer to the life you're meant to live. Learning isn't a stepping stone. It is the road. So step onto that path. Walk with focus. And as you move forward, prepare to meet the version of yourself you were always destined to become. Now, let's talk about the tool that allows you to stay on that path, especially when the terrain changes. Step 9, adaptability, your greatest strength. One of the most profound truths I've ever discovered and now share with you is this. Change is the only constant in life. It doesn't matter who you are, how carefully you plan, or how strong your starting point may seem. Life will throw the unexpected at you. Plans will unravel. Markets will shift. People will change. The wind will no longer blow in your favor. And in those moments, your success won't be determined by your education, your resources, or your network. It will be determined by your adaptability. The man who learns to adapt becomes virtually undefeatable. He doesn't fear change, he studies it. He doesn't panic when systems break, he builds new ones. He doesn't resist disruption, he reads it, responds to it, leverages it. He doesn't seek chaos, he sees opportunity. This is the mindset you must adopt if you're serious about rising in a world that refuses to stand still. Consider the life of Thomas Watson, founder of IBM. Watson didn't begin in computers. In fact, computing was a foreign concept during the early years of his journey. What he had, though, was far more powerful than a single idea. He had vision and the flexibility to reshape that vision as the world evolved. Watson adjusted his strategies over and over, sometimes in response to market forces, other times in the face of failure. But each shift opened new doors. Each pivot created space for innovation. And through that flexibility, he built one of the most legendary companies in business history. Watson's success wasn't rooted in one plan. It was rooted in his ability to replan. And that is your challenge too. You must train yourself to embrace change, not fear it. Let go of the illusion that certainty equals safety. Anchor yourself not in rigid plans, but in the belief that no matter what comes, you will adapt with power. Understand this. Adaptability is not abandoning your goals. It's refining your methods. The destination stays the same, but the path, that may twist, bend, climb, or completely reroute. And that's perfectly okay. Resisting change leads to frustration, stagnation, and eventual collapse. But when you meet change with curiosity and courage, you transform uncertainty into opportunity. So the question becomes, will you resist the storm, or will you ride the wind? In the next section, we'll dive into the final cornerstone of success, taking action with unwavering urgency, and how that single decision separates those who wish from those who win. In the previous section, we discovered how adaptability transforms disruption into opportunity, and how embracing change is the mindset of those who lead, not follow. Now, let's take that mindset one step further. Adaptability means nothing without action. Every disruption can become a doorway. Every unexpected shift can be a stepping stone, but only if you step. Adaptability fuels innovation, but action is what gives innovation a heartbeat. It's not stability that births breakthroughs. It's urgency, pressure, necessity. History's greatest advancements weren't created in moments of comfort. They were forged in the fires of uncertainty. So I urge you, start building your adaptability today. Make it a daily discipline. When your plans collapse, ask yourself, what can I build with the pieces? When the market changes, don't retreat. Ask, what new value can I create here? Because the man who adapts becomes indispensable. He's not only respected, he's needed. He's the one people turn to when things get uncertain. He becomes future-proof, not because the world doesn't shake, but because he knows how to move with it. And more than anything, he becomes resilient. He doesn't snap under pressure. He bends, he flexes, he adjusts, and with each shift, he moves forward with more wisdom than before. Make adaptability your ally. Train it like a muscle. Flex it in small ways each day. And soon, you'll realize no change can defeat you because you are always evolving. That's not just how you survive. That's how you succeed long term. But let's be clear, even adaptability needs a spark. Because ideas without action are powerless. Action is what transforms possibility into reality. Every great company, every life-changing invention, every personal reinvention, it all started the same way. Someone acted. Someone didn't wait for perfect conditions. They made a move. Action creates momentum. It unlocks doors. It draws an opportunity. It builds confidence. And in contrast, hesitation breeds fear. It feeds doubt. It kills dreams silently, slowly, and permanently. Start now. Your dreams, no matter how big, will stay dreams unless you act. There's immense power in immediacy. This day, this very moment, can be the spark that changes your entire trajectory. Let today be the day you ignite your journey. Because every great achievement begins with one bold step. Not someday, but this day. So ask yourself, will it be one day or will it be day one? The choice is yours. Choose wisely. Choose action. Choose to begin right now. Wishing you strength, clarity, and momentum on your path. Stay healthy, stay inspired, and don't forget to subscribe to Mindset Daily for more empowering content like this.